This Muslim went to hell. But what happened when he went to hell was mind blowing. And what he found out is remarkable. Check out his story.
February 1st of 2020, I died. I must have had a heart attack in my sleep. And when I tell people this, they say, "You sure it's not a dream? You sure it's not a dream?" I go, "Listen, man, I'm 45 years old. I know what a dream is. And this is far from any dream you could ever think of. This was more real than me and you talking right now face to face, because when you die, you feel everything a million times more enhanced than you feel now on earth. I felt every single cell on my body, every single hair I can feel. And you know everything. Your soul knows everything instantly. I knew everything. Boom. I knew I was going to hell when I died. I knew it right away. Right away, when I knew I died and I knew I was going to hell, right away I screamed out the shahada, which in Islam we do. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammad rasulullah. And I screamed the scream that I screamed. I mean, I will blow the roof off my house. That's how the terrifying scream that you would not. That's how bad I screamed. And I screamed it and I screamed it and I said Allahu Akbar like 8 times. And then right after that, I was wondering, and I'm falling in this black abyss, falling so fast. And I'm wondering, am I going to get up? Am I waking up? Because, sometimes when you have a dream, you're falling and you just pop up like that. That's what I was waiting for. And then it's not. And then my soul's telling me, you're dead. You're dead. You're going to hell for eternity. Once my soul told me that it's not true. When I said Allahu Akbar and I was going, it said it's not, this is not true. You're going to hell for eternity. And when I felt the hopelessness, when you know that you have God separated from you and you don't have God, and there's no hope in your eternity, like there's no hope. I mean, man, I don't wish this on my worst enemy. This feeling of hopelessness is unbearable. I mean, the hopelessness you have on earth is nothing compared. Nothing comes close to it.
Mm.
I felt that hopelessness, and then there's this white light flying around me so fast, and it was I knew it. My soul knew instantly it was my guardian angel, and this guardian angel, and I. This is the only way I can explain this in life. This angel's voice was the most scariest and the most beautiful voice in one. It was so piercing and it was so desperate for me. I felt the love of this angel was so desperate for me. It's like I knew he was with me my whole life, trying to guide me, trying to help me. And so whatever, I don't know if it was a he or she or it, whatever, but because this voice was unbearable, unbelievable. I can never get it out of my head. Every single day, I can hear this voice, and it was coming from this ear and this ear. Amir, please. It was begging me, please, you have to listen, hurry. He can still hear you. You have to tell him before your soul leaves your body. Tell Jesus to save you before your soul leaves your body. Hurry, please, do it now, do it now. And I'm looking down and I see another portal, and that a pit, and right and I'm like, there's no way. There's no. What do you mean? What do you mean, Jesus? No way. What do you mean? What do you mean? What about Allah? What this and that? And I'm doing this. I'm like, oh my God, oh my. Like, and then I said right before I said, please, Jesus, come into my heart and save me. In a big flash, in a big thunder, like a thunder, a bolt, like a sound, and the force. The when I came in back into my body, the force, my body flew off my bed. I was sweating like water. My wife got so terrified. She was gonna call 911. She like, I was like, well, oh my babe, I had a heart attack. I died. You're not gonna believe this. You're not gonna believe this. She's like, just go back to bed. Just go. It was like 3 something in the morning. It was late. And I'm like, I didn't sleep. I go, oh my God, there's no way. There's no way this is happening. There's no way. And I still denied it. I go, there's no way. I go, I gotta read the Quran again. I gotta read the Quran. There's no way this can't be happening, because a lot of times in Islam they say the devil plays tricks on you, and he comes and he'll come and looking like a prophet or something. It's kind of ironic because in Galatians 1:7, when I read that, angel of light. Um, so I was like, there's no way. So I cried on the way to work in the morning. I was crying my eyes off, man, crying. I couldn't believe it. So I started reading the Quran, and I took my time. And just to show that I'm not lying and making things up, I write I write everything down. I have 2 journals. I write everything. So I wrote surahs from the Quran that stuck out to me that I want, and I did the same for the Bible. I did them both, and I read them both. And I have 2 journals full. I write everything. because I keep reading over them so I could memorize, and I memorize them, you know. And when I'm reading, the more I'm reading, the stronger this angel's voice is in my ears. He's the only one that can save you. He's the only one that can save you. Jesus, he's the only one that can save you every time. And then when I read about the crucifixion about Jesus, that's when it hit me, because I read it before, and when I read it again this time, it was different. It was different. It's like there's no way I could. There's no way. There's no way that God is gonna make somebody look like Jesus and deceive trillion and zillions of souls, because Islam and Christian and Jesus are over 600 years apart. Okay, so God Almighty took 6 days to create everything, but it took him 600 years to create Islam and to say that Jesus wasn't crucified, you know, and that didn't set right with me.
That just, if I can pause there, Amir. So that's an important point.
Yeah.
You know, Islam was formed about 600 years, as you said, after.
Not only 600, over, because the Quran came down in sections. It didn't come down in one whole book. So it took like over 25, 30 years. It was coming in sections, you know, throughout Prophet Muhammad's prophethood.
Right.
It wasn't just one whole book that came down, you know. So so it was over 600 years.
And you know, a lot of questions around like the Jewish people, by and large, and many of the early Jewish people had really been apostles, disciples who were spreading the word, but largely the Jewish people had turned against Christianity because of this guy called Alexander the Great. He was a conqueror, right? And the Crusaders who came, you know, they came in the name of, you know, being Christians. And so many in the Jewish community and in the Middle Eastern community looked at these Crusaders and Alexander